Hey everybody, this is Brian from winningwithcredit.com, author of the book Winning with Credit, where I outline how I moved my credit score 200 points and how you can too. And if you've been following along, we are now ready to go on offense, which means putting new good things on our credit. So how do we get started? Let's talk about it in just a sec. So what do we do to put new good items on our credit? The number one thing that is going to be the easiest to do is get a small, low limit credit card. And that is going to put a revolving account on your credit as a positive item. So it's a new seed we're going to plant that sprouts and it's growing, and month after month it shows as a positive item. Okay, and you might say, well, I have terrible credit. How do I get a new credit card? Well, I had a 550 when I started, and what I was able to get was a credit card designed for people with bad credit. And I'm going to send you to the same website that I used back then. It's called creditcards.com. And when you go to creditcards.com, you can search for cards by credit type and just simply search for bad credit. And you're going to see offers from banks like First Premier or maybe Capital One. It changes, but I think I had one from First Premier. But here's what you really want in these cards, and you have to have the right mentality when you're getting these cards. You're not looking for an amazing interest rate. You're not looking for low annual fees. You're looking for someone to take a chance on you so that you can start putting new good things on your credit. Okay, so here's what we definitely need these cards to do. So read the fine print and make sure they do these two things. Number one, they are unsecured, okay? Unsecured means they're actual credit cards. Otherwise, there are a lot of cards that act like debit cards. You give them $200 and now suddenly you have a $200 credit limit. You don't need that, okay? Get an unsecured card. It's a real credit card. And the second thing you want is to make sure they report to all three major credit bureaus, because you're not doing this for your health. You want to build good credit. And it's important that they report these new good payments you're going to be making to the three credit bureaus. Now, I'll warn you up front, these credit cards come with really high upfront fees. I think I paid $50 in an upfront fee or an annual fee for a card that had a $200 credit limit. So it was like a 25% annual fee. But I didn't care. I'm like, look, this is a means to an end for me. I just need something on my credit that's good. So definitely go get one of those going. If you're starting from scratch with no new good credit, start there, okay? Now, some of you may already have some good credit lines going. Definitely keep those. And we want to ultimately get about 3 or so of these credit cards, revolving accounts, on and good on your credit. So if you already have a couple, maybe you just need one more. If you're starting from scratch like I was, you want to end up with 3 of them. But here's another tip. Remember back when I was talking, the other thing that goes into your credit score is number of inquiries. So we do not want to get 3 credit cards on the same day. In fact, you may want to get one and go about 4 to 6 months before you get your next one, and let it space out a little bit. So it's not looking like you're desperate for credit and you're just trying to, live the next 10 years of your life today. Creditors like seeing that you're slow and methodical about the credit you take on. So go ahead, apply for a credit card. I've never heard of anyone being turned down. Okay. You might be the first. Let me know if things have changed. But if you're gearing for cards the way I've just said that specialize in people with bad credit, you should be fine. Okay. Then when you have one of those on, here's what you want to do with it. You don't want to just lock it in a drawer. but you also don't want to max them out. Okay, $200 or some low credit limit is going to be very easy to max out. You can eat out a couple times and then there you go, right? So what I would suggest is don't carry them with you necessarily. That's going to be a little too tempting to max them out. What we do, and my wife and I, is some credit cards that we like having, but we use them strategically. We just leave them at home. And maybe you have a membership that you're going to pay anyway. Let's say it's $30 a month for your gym or something like that. And why not link it to that credit card? And then you're paying it off every month. So it always has a zero balance, but they show some activity on it. Because remember that utilization rate, that 30%. And again, I covered all that before, so don't worry if I'm going kind of fast here through that. And then just pay it off. And so then it's money you would have spent anyway. You're not going into new debt. You're just sending it through a new credit card account. So now that's appearing as a good line. And that's a fantastic way of building. And then a few months later, maybe 4 to 6, at least 3. All right, 90 days later, go ahead and apply for your second one. And then at that point, maybe you want to mix it up. Maybe you want to get a gas card. I didn't, but that if I did it today, that might be a third card I get. Or maybe if I always shop at a certain department store, maybe I want to do that. And then just plan on paying it off. So that's kind of the strategy. Is it's not getting into new debt. It's building credit. Okay, I don't want you getting into new debt. I want you building credit. So things that you're going to pay anyway, why not put them on the card and then just pay them off? And it adds a step to your finances, but this is what I did. Okay, and then the second thing, once you have those small credit lines going and you're using them responsibly, the next kind of debt you want to show that you can handle is some sort of fixed or structured loan. And the difference being that this fixed and structured loans are for a specific thing. They have a specific payment and then they're done at a certain time. And again, I covered this in the previous video, so I don't want to be too redundant for those of you following along. So the number one fixed loan type in America is an auto loan, but it doesn't have to be an auto loan. It can be a unsecured just signature loan, maybe from a credit union or something like that. But an auto loan very well might be the next type of loan type you get past revolving. So beyond credit cards, the next thing you do might be an auto loan. Here's a couple suggestions about that. Okay, I don't want you running out and buying a new car and getting in a ton of debt. Okay, what I do suggest though is that we figure out how to get a new good line item on your credit using money you were probably going to spend anyway. So here's a little ninja trick. Let's say you have a couple of old bad debts you're trying to negotiate off through the let's make a deal plan. So you need a lump sum, right? And let's say you have a paid off car that you've had for a while now because you haven't been able to qualify for a new car. So let's say it's worth $6,000. You can go to a credit union and most of the time you can refinance a paid off car. So you can pull out, let's say $1,000 or $2,000 from a paid off car. Let's say that's worth $6,000 or something like that. There's your $1,000 or $2,000 to pay off and delete off one of your old bad credit cards from the let's make a deal strategy. So now suddenly you have old bad stuff paid off and gone and a new good car loan on your credit, all with money that you kind of had to play with anyway because you was already equity in a car instead of saving up and yada. Do you see where I'm going with that? Now, if that didn't make any sense to you, don't worry about it. You can always get new credit lines on by just simply planning ahead a little bit in life. Okay, so let's say you're going to buy a new couch or you're going to buy a new bed, and you could save up for $1,000 and just pay them cash. Well, let's say you save up, you have the $1,000, but instead you actually buy them on credit and you pay them off early. You pay them off maybe over 4 or 6 months. Now you have a new credit line, but it's not money you wouldn't have spent anyway. That's what I'm getting at, okay? I don't want you running out and getting into new debt. But these are just some ideas, okay? And of course, if you do need a new car, by all means, go get one. I'm not saying don't get into new debt. I just don't want you to feel like you have to go into debt to build good credit if that debt is uncomfortable to you. I'm trying to find creative ways that you can create credit line items that are positive, just spending money you would have spent anyway. So I hope this was helpful. Check out creditcards.com. Do those little bad credit card searches there. I get absolutely no money and no referral fees for sending you there. If I ever do, I will tell you. But I'm just telling you what I did and what worked. And that's why I'm not reading from a script. I'm not plugging anyone's particular program. I'm telling you what I did, and you can too. So let's continue offense. See you in the next video, or if you haven't done so already, go on over to winningwithcredit.com, download the first half of my book for free, where it slows this all down. And all the notes you've been scribbling down, don't worry about it. They're all in the book. Download the first half for free, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for letting me be part of your success. I'll see you soon.